Hey guys, this is Crime and Reason, where we kind of just talk about that, crime and reason. I'm Sarah Pearce, and I bother everybody in my life with my crime obsession, and now I'm going to bother Julissa and Tiara.
Hey.
Alright, so y'all don't really know what we're talking about,
No.
except for the title.
Crime.
The Axeman of New Orleans.
They actually have that?
Yeah.
Like they
There's been a lot of Axemen in history.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it was just the movies.
Kind of give y'all the rundown.
Starting in 1918, for about 18 months, the serial killer terrorized New Orleans and the surrounding area. He would eventually earn the name the Axeman.
Oh, how original.
Responsible for 12 attacks and 6 resulting in death, he would only attack at night, and he would only attack people asleep in their beds.
You know, that's a pedophile. Y'all know that? It sound like it.
Wasn't there someone like that, though? There was another guy like that.
There was?
We're talking about the Axeman right now.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, he stole the bit from somebody.
Never using his own tools, he would use whatever he could find from his victim's home, usually being an axe, which he would leave bloody at the scene.
Apparently, axes are pretty popular in New Orleans in
1918.
He sounds like a punk. You're just gonna kill folk, axe them when they sleep? Like, wait, what if they wake up?
And he would leave the axe at the scene, so that was kind of one of his MOs.
Oh, no, that's dumb, because that's
Did he wear a
fingerprints.
glove?
No, he probably wore gloves, yeah.
I think if I was in New Orleans around that time, I would get rid of every sharp object that I had.
That is true.
You know what, but what if you have to cut an onion?
You better...
Do you not watch the Food Network?
Like, what if you need to chop, like, dice it?
Okay, you're done.
Like, you need cilantro.
All right, we're going to
You
go
know
through the
what I'm
first
talking
victim.
about?
All right, first victim.
On May 23, 1918, the first Axeman attack took place. Catherine and Joseph Maggio were both struck with an axe, and their throats were slit.
Woo, we said that?
So this was kind of his first attack. He was kind of testing the waters.
Testing the waters? This sounds more like...
He used not only an axe, but like one of those shavers to slit their throats.
Was he in prison at any time before this?
Oh, good question.
Ah.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Catherine had been almost decapitated, and Joseph had several severe injuries. The bodies were discovered by Joseph's brothers, who lived in the same house. They didn't see or hear anything, and nothing was taken from the home.
So they all dead.
Oh, they were part of it. They were so part of it.
That
This is
sounds
like a
like
big
it.
cult. This is a big cult, and they get put in it, and they all have to wear axe necklaces, and then that's how they get, and then they like go to that person's house, and they make them look psycho, and they just like sleep.
I think money was involved. They had to pay, because I'm not finna do this for free.
But like, are cults at that time? Like, was there cults?
Yeah, you gonna pay me for a cult.
Okay, Tiara, some people didn't pay to be in cults. They just wanted to be in a cult.
Why?
A panel of the door was knocked out, and only an axe was found. Fingerprinting was not yet a standard procedure, so they could not test the axe.
So he kind of slithered through a panel in the door.
Slithered?
He must be skinny. He must have been skinny.
How I said, like, an axe was left at the crime scene. Nowadays, we'd finger test it. And,
Yeah.
So what? They just picked it up and said, oh, they did it with an axe, and
Well,
called it a day?
well, it was a bloody axe, I would assume.
You know who I think it was? The hash slinging slash.
The lights didn't flicker.
Well,
All right, so
he slithered. SpongeBob said
Okay.
she should sue.
let's save this for the theory part. Nickelodeon's gonna get us.
Okay, I'm done.
We're gonna talk about a bloody bird, and these people are laughing about SpongeBob
Stop what you
references.
This is so true.
Okay, stop it.
Okay.
We're gonna have to cut.
I'm collecting myself.
All right, so what else he do?
All right, next attack.
All right.
Then, on June 28, 1918, another attack took place. Louis Bumstremer and Anna Lowe were discovered by a baker making morning deliveries.
But I thought everybody was asleep when he killed him.
Wait, but they were
But
asleep,
they
but
were
a
found in the
baker.
morning
Oh,
But
okay.
where?
in their house. He was
So the
making them.
bakery just, okay.
Did he
You
cut
know
open another door?
Your bread.
Oh, now Sarah's the one laughing,
Your
referring to
finger.
bread references, but I can't laugh at the hash slinging slasher. Okay.
All right, Louis, good news. He actually survived the attack,
Oh, thank
and
God.
Anna survived 7 weeks, but died after that.
Damn.
But before she died, she told the police that she saw a large white man with a hatchet attacking them.
So he was large? But
Yes,
how can
he
he
was
cut?
large.
How can he slither?
He must put
we'll
like butter.
touch on that in the
Okay,
theory.
okay,
Just wait.
okay.
On August 5th, 1918, another victim was found by her husband in their home.
She was still alive and rushed to the hospital.
Oh, her husband found her?
She survived the attack, so this is one of the first that he didn't have very good aim.
Okay.
Okay.
It was also reported that their axe was missing. Unfortunately, the woman was pregnant.
But she successfully gave birth to baby a week later.
Is that baby
Okay,
still
She's a
alive?
tough woman.
That's some tough stuff right there.
What year was that?
1918.
Oh.
5 days later, on August 10th, 1918, Joseph Romano was found by his nieces after they heard him struggling. His head was bashed in, and the two girls said they saw the attacker and described him as dark, tall, heavy-set, wearing a dark suit and a slouch hat.
Really?
But he was described big
So the
both times.
So these kids are just gonna look. Oh, we saw how he looked. You didn't attack. Oh, it was probably young.
They're little.
Yeah, they were
They're not a
little.
little
He was-
superhero movie.
He was an 80-year-old man, too.
Aww.
Yeah, he died 2 days later.
But he was heavy. The killer was heavy.
But
I
at
really
least
wonder how he
there's like
opened doors.
consistency. Like 2 people have already said that this person was large.
Yeah,
So
the
there's
na-
consistency.
The papers kind of picked up on that.
Around the murder of Joseph Romano, the local paper printed, "Armed men are keeping watch over their families while the police are seen to solve the mysteries of the axe attacks. Extra police are being put to work daily."
So what would y'all print on the headline if there was an axe man on the loose in Huntsville?
Let's see. Axeman, heavy set, cut opens the doors, throws, good at bats, or aiming.
That's
to
your
kill.
whole headline.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that would work. But luckily, the paper, after they released that headline, he didn't commit another crime for 7 months.
Because he was shooketh.
Yeah, because he was like, they found me. Like,
They're
who
on to
cannot
me.
find you?
Well, sir, maybe you shouldn't leave your stuff. People have seen you. Stupid.
See, word to everybody who's trying to be a killer out there.
Okay,
don't do
Tiara.
it. Don't do it. But if you are going to do it, which I'm not helping you or suggesting that you should, but make sure you have your facts, you have your killings, you make sure you're wearing everything black, ski mask. If you heavy, make sure you look like you skinny. If
Get
that makes sense.
contour
Are
going.
you done?
Yes, get the contour going.
No, we're not
and,
done.
You know,
Oh, well.
if you kill people who've not done things.
Okay, Tiara.
You know, never mind. Scratch it.
After the 7 months go by, on March 10th, 1919, Rose and Charles Cortamiglia were attacked. Rose woke up to her husband fighting the Axeman.
There we go. He was.
Yeah.
Beat-
He lost the fight.
Damn.
You know what, though?
I
He
was
put up a
rooting.
fight. He
Okay,
put up
you
a
right.
fight. Because everybody else didn't put up a fight. So he was like,
Yeah, everybody was probably screaming, "Oh my God!"
Rose and her 2-year-old Mary were also attacked.
Not the kids.
Rose and Charles survived, but the 2-year-old died.
aww.
No, that's not. We don't do that. We don't kill kids.
And again, the axe used was found.
Damn.
How many axes does he have?
He just takes the families. I told you they're
Oh, they're
popular.
okay, yeah.
Axes.
5 days later, a New Orleans paper received a letter from someone claiming to be the Axeman.
Oh, so now.
Oh,
they're
so he
right.
wanted to be like the Zodiac.
Let me read, y'all.
Okay,
this.
I'm sorry.
Hell, March 13th, 1919.
Ooh.
Esteemed mortal, they have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as the ether, which surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit, and fell from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman.
And then he goes on to attack the police, insult them.
They have been so utterly stupid, so as to amuse not only me, but his satanic majesty.
Hold up.
So now he with the devil. I don't.
Witchcraft.
But tell them to beware. Let them not try to discover what I am, for it were better that they were never born, than for them to incur the wrath of the Axeman.
So you a big man.
So you're a
Talk about,
poet?
we don't know you. We never seen you. You somebody through hell, but yet we don't know you. You not living. You a big man.
But
So
can you just
how are you a
imagine this
spirit-
man
you
like
know
sitting
what?
at his typewriter like, I'm the Axeman.
I'm the Axeman.
He then goes on and says, "Undoubtedly you Orleanians think of me as a most horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens, for I am in close relationship with the angel of death."
Okay.
So now you threatening him.
That's
talking
when
about,
I would have
could
put an
kill you if I
egg under
wanted
my
to.
bed because
just
this
wanna
is
know-
clearly witchcraft. Okay, everybody in New Orleans should have put an egg under their bed. It would have been okay.
I just want to know what like the criteria was to be the best citizen. Because I
Yeah,
would do the
yeah.
opposite of all of that.
Yeah, just so I can meet up with him. and be
How
like,
do
so
I-
You gonna kill me? You gonna ask me? Come on, because I'm ready for your
Raise
bald
his
head.
hand.
I feel
How
like
do
he's
I
bald.
act like a great citizen and them name stuff? Okay, so that's what I will not do.
I wonder where he left the letter. Did it have a little
He
shipping?
mailed it to the paper.
So he gonna mail. I know he has his address. I know he want to play and put his address on there and put it on the side. That's what I
Okay.
would did.
But it goes even more, and he makes a specific threat this time.
Sure.
He says, now, to be exact, at 12:15 o'clock earthly time.
Oh, clock.
Earthly earthly
You know, that's
time.
from 1918. I'm not shaming.
Well.
Clock.
On next Tuesday night, I am going to pass over New Orleans in my infinite mercy. I am going to make a little proposition to the people.
Here it is. I am very fond of jazz music,
Oh,
and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions.
earthly jazz music or spirit jazz
Oh,
music?
that's a good question. I should ask him that.
Yeah.
Okay. I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared in whose house a jazz band is in full swing at the time I have just mentioned.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
So now he says you ain't gonna die if you play some jazz music.
Me hires a band for the night. Woo! Concert at my
I'll
house.
start walking, singing jazz music, going like this. This is the jam.
I love jazz.
Definitely you love jazz music. Okay.
Yes.
He goes on to say, if everyone has a jazz band going, well then so much the better for the people. One thing is certain, and that is some of those persons who do not jazz it on Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. They're going to get the axe.
Shuck.
That Tuesday night, March 19th, 1919, it said the whole city blasted jazz music in their homes or filled local jazz clubs to follow what the Axeman said. There were no recorded murders that day.
Yeah, they were all scared.
Do you think he was like walking in the street just like jamming with like a big trench coat?
Nah, he's probably more chill. He's probably wearing,
He was jamming to that jazz music. He was jazzing it up.
But I'm saying, like, do you think like people maybe would have walked across him not knowing that was the
He's probably
Axeman?
wearing some regular
Dun, dun,
clothes,
dun, dun.
like a really nice fedora. He's got a hat, right?
Like
This
Neo's?
night actually inspired a lot of jazz music. They actually wrote a song
What?
that said, don't scare me, Papa.
He ain't nobody's dad.
You know what? You know them people? He's one of the people that wants to pursue music and don't know how. So he's threatening people. He's threatening people so they can play jazz music. He probably handed out mixtapes.
Follow me on SoundCloud. He was ahead of his time.
On August 10th, 1919, Steve Boca woke up to a man above his bed with an axe and was badly injured.
So here we go again.
He survived the attack, staggering to a nearby home, and the neighbor called the police.
Okay.
So another bad shot. Boca didn't regain his memory, so he doesn't remember anything from that night.
Oh, he knew he was doing. He hit him one good time to clock that memory out.
Hit him one time.
Hit
Hit him two times.
Hit him three times. Let's go.
Okay, sorry.
My jazz music.
That's how the jazz tune actually went.
Shut up.
I was like, wow.
Shut up.
We're musicians.
All right, later that month, a woman named Sarah Lahman was attacked by someone who
OMG,
entered-
Sarah.
Yeah, bad luck for me.
Go ahead.
But someone actually entered through her window this time. There was no busted out panel on her door.
Probably couldn't break it down. Couldn't fit.
He was gaining weight. When she regained consciousness, she couldn't recall details from that attack either.
So just,
he
he's
got
drugging
lucky
them.
2 times. Yeah.
I just think he clocking him one good time. Just hit him in the head real quick and call it a day.
2 months later, on October 27, 1919, the Axemen attacked Esther and Mike Pepitone. Esther woke up around 1 a.m. to find her husband screaming and ran into the bedroom. He was struck in the head 18 times and died 2 hours later.
But Esther actually saw 2 figures this time.
I told you it was a cult.
It was
But
his
she
son.
couldn't identify any of them.
It was a
It was
cult.
his bandmate.
A bolt with a heavy nut used to secure circus tents was apparently one of the weapons.
And it turns out there was a circus there that weekend.
I
Circus
told
didn't even
you
wanna
it
use
was a cult.
What is this, American Horror Story?
Yep, it sure is, and I'm gonna pitch it for season 8.
All right, but this was the last murder, so we know of.
So the last murder contained of the circus and the bolt. And
The
them
cult
getting in
left.
No, the cult began.
They left with the traveling circus.
He left with the traveling circus, and then that's when, you remember that other killer that he used to attack people at night too?
I'm sure a lot of murders
There was
occur at
one.
night.
There was one. No, like he only struck like at a certain time, and it was like a repeated thing. He was part of the cult too. So it's like the Axeman cult, and they like traveled, and then that's where the Zodiac killer came from. This is where everybody came from.
Going off that, let's get into the theories.
I think my theory wins.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna vote. Let's do a Twitter poll.
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's get into theory 1. All right, not all the killings were done by the Axemen. So
Okay.
going on with yours, some believe that the last killing was actually done by the mafia.
The mafia?
Actually, Mike Pepitone's father killed someone in the past, and they thought this was kind of a retaliation.
Oh, and they just used the Axeman's thing to cover up
'Cause
their
it was
own
so
beef.
sensationalized.
Wow.
But I mean, why would he want to get people to play jazz music then?
But I mean, you just use something that's already happening so people don't look at you. They're thinking it's one person.
They're going after
Copycat.
that dark, tall man in a slouch hat.
Yeah.
All right, another Axeman attack that was kind of questioned was the attack of Louis Bessemer and Anna Lowe. Louis was injured, but Anna was killed. It turns out that Louis was actually arrested for that murder because they thought it was a domestic dispute. But going off of that, the police found letters that he had wrote in Russian and Yiddish. So they kind of thought
What's
he
Yiddish?
was, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Irish.
Something.
Sounds
Something.
Irish.
Okay.
They thought he was kind of a Nazi spy, and that he was a part of a spy ring. And then before
Whoa.
dying, Anna blamed Louis and said he was a Nazi spy.
Oh.
Yeah, but he was acquitted because there was
No.
things that
evidence.
was suggesting that it was the Axemen, like the bloody axe found at the scene. The axe was
Could this
stolen.
tie into the first theory, kind of? Like someone
this
doing
is,
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
okay.
is still the first theory. And then theory 2 is that there was just a copycat killer, because there are kind of some inconsistencies throughout the whole thing. So
Except the bad aim. That's
Yeah,
consistent. All
that's-
these people.
a lot of bad
Yeah,
aim.
how you gonna kill somebody and then and then miss, kind of?
Especially the guy that was hit like 18 times. Like, he was really
Shooketh.
trying.
He's probably fighting back. He probably was like, "You're not finna kill
He was
me."
probably like ducking, you know, like on the movies.
And he's like, "Man, if you don't sit."
You know what though? I think it's a circus cult. Well, it's a cult that travels.
Traveling cult
Traveling
likes
cult
jazz
with
music.
that loves jazz music.
Yeah, traveling cult that likes jazz music, or the other theory would be that it was people like copycat because they wanted to handle their own beef and do it like the Axeman.
All right, now you kind of touched on this earlier, but
Ooh.
theory 3, given the context of the letter and how mysterious and how he was associated with the devil and not earthly,
Brujeria.
someone believed the Axeman was a supernatural figure that could slip under the door and become the large man so many reported.
But isn't like in New Orleans like voodoo? Is it? You know what?
So yeah,
I'm not gonna say nothing because I'm gonna have to put an egg under my bed tonight. So y'all leave me out of this part.
Imagine Ant-Man like, zoom, like go under the door and then zoom.
I still
back
haven't
up.
seen that movie.
Nope, bad reference.
Wait,
But I saw
Ant-Man?
the preview.
But that doesn't make sense for the. I mean, I guess that can kind of make sense for the panel. But if he's going under the doorways like they suspected, why would he need a panel?
That is true. Like he was kind of doing some extra.
I don't know,
stuff
witchcraft.
just to miss and aim for people and only kill. How many he killed? Because it didn't seem like he killed that much.
He killed 6 out of the 12 attacks.
That's a lot. That's still a lot.
I mean, it's half and half. Nobody
I mean, it's
should
not
die.
great
yeah.
that 6 people were murdered. But
Yeah.
there could have been 12 victims.
That is true.
All right, theory 4.
Pretty shook.
An actual suspect this time.
The suspect's name was Joseph Mumphrey. Looking at the last attack, Esther Pepitone lived and her husband died. Esther later moved to Los Angeles and remarried a man named Angelo Albano. But on the second anniversary of Mike's death, her first husband, her current husband Angelo disappeared and was never found.
She just got a bad
Yeah,
taste in
she's
men.
got-
Jeez.
she's got some
Wait, her
bad
man,
luck.
her other man just died. It's
I
not like she had
know.
bad taste in him. She didn't predict, you know what, he's gonna die one day. I shouldn't marry him, or he's gonna disappear one day. Like,
That is
geez, she
true.
just got it hard.
But
She
as-
really does. Both things.
She recalled before her marriage to Angelo that Angelo ended a business relation with a man that was by the name of Joseph
On December 5th, 1921, Mumphrey visited Esther's home in LA and demanded $500 and her jewelry, threatening he would kill her the same way he had killed her husband.
Oh, well, he gonna have to kill me because you ain't getting my money.
So it seems like it's a confession that he's the Axeman.
Tiara, you taking your money to the grave?
Girl, what you mean? He talking about, I'd be like, well, running back, you don't have to kill me. Square up. They
But
probably didn't know.
like you, Esther fought back, and in true
Ooh.
heroine fashion, she pulled out a revolver and
That's
shot
how
him in
you
the
do
face.
it. Esther, I like you, even though you probably died because it's in the 18s.
Oh my
But I liked you.
When Esther was arrested for shooting Mumphrey, she said he was the Axeman, seeing him run from the room the night her former husband was murdered. LAPD noted there was evidence linking Mumphrey to the murder of Mike Pepitone, and Esther was acquitted for Mumphrey's death.
Dang, Esther.
So let's go over some of the, evidence that links them.
Mumphrey led a blackmailing gang in New Orleans that targeted Italians. Almost all the Axeman's victims were Italian.
I'm shook. The mafia out here running things.
Stop it.
And you know how you were talking about maybe he was in and out of prison?
Is that gonna? Okay, I was just checking the time.
Mumphrey was in and out of prison for the prior 10 years, and the time coincided with the attacks that he was out.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So he's it.
But there's still not enough evidence.
Like it's not for sure, but like it kind of.
It was all
to him.
circumstantial, so there was no really true evidence to link Mumphrey to the crimes.
All I know is
Did it,
I am
Mumphrey.
shooketh.
Esther, her character kind of became questionable too, because at first she said two men were the attackers that night, but then she changed her story to no, it was Mumphrey.
So is Esther a
I
liar?
was rooting for you, girl. Now
We
you
would
lying.
never have I ever yelled at someone like this before.
I'm shook.
So it goes along. Was it a copycat? Was
Was
she lying, or was it really multiple people that did this?
It could be.
Could it be a blackmailing cult that targeted Italian mobsters?
I wonder if there are any blackmailing cults.
Could there be? It could be.
I feel like possibly.
All right. So with all of that evidence, this case still remains unsolved.
And it shooketh.
You know what? I feel like I was on Investigation Discovery. I liked this.
Okay.
I like this.
I support it.
I'm
was
really
cool.
shooketh, to be
Thank you
honest.
for telling the story, because I was
Yeah.
shook. Esther, I'm still not liking you no more.
You know what? I like those one people's last name. The pepperoni. It's a nice last name.
Yeah.
I like
said
Mumphrey. Sounds like Humphrey.
Muffin.
Or, nah, was it Mumfred? I can't even say it. Either way.
The Axeman is coming.
Oh, shit.
Insert clip now.
Oh my gosh, Tiara, the Axeman's coming.
What? What? Hide your kids, hide your wives, the Axeman's coming! Ah! Ah!
Tell these people to subscribe.
The hash.
Make sure you subscribe to the hash slinging slasher / Axeman. This is Crime and Reason with Tiara.
Sarah.
and Julissa.
And you're shooketh. And we're out.
Explosion. Axes.
I said you wanna be started something, got to be started something. Said you wanna be started something, it's got to be started something. Crime is unsolved. Yeah. Get up, yeah. Cause you asked me in the middle. But yeah.
On a serious note.